bit about this bike that came on Christmas morning. I'm guessing it came Christmas morning.
It came actually right before Christmas morning.
Okay.
We came to Birmingham to get treatments for my breast cancer recurrence, and we have had an outpouring of people want to do things for us, and so someone provided a way for us to go get bikes for our daughters and helmets for Christmas. And so we were very, very excited and eager to go do this. So we didn't make them wait till Christmas morning. We went a few days before Christmas while there was still a good selection. And we took the girls. We were going to surprise them. We were going to take them to Walmart and let them drive away with these bikes. And we were able to find 2 perfect colors, perfect fits and everything for our youngest 2 daughters, who are 5 and 7. But our oldest, they had like trick bikes, but the seat was too far. So my husband decided to take her to Bob's Bikes in Homewood.
Bob's Bikes, very nice place.
Very nice place. The frugal mom and me was wanting to send him to Target and try Target or Sears, but they headed to Bob's Bike, and then he said, we'll just take a look around. We'll just take a look around. And I was thinking, she's 9. She doesn't need all the bells and whistles. And plus, she's not finished growing. Well, they came back with the mother of all Mac Daddy bikes, and it's from Bob's Bikes, and it was what she wanted, and it was a daddy-daughter moment that if I had been there, it would have never happened, because it's like the difference in having a used, broken down truck and a Lexus. You know, she got the Lexus of all bikes for a 9-year-old. So anyway, but my heart was grateful, and I was glad that they had, and she was thrilled. And it has gears, and you know, the Walmart bikes didn't have gears, and so anyway, it's her first real gear bike. So they got it. They had been going to Dawson's parking lot and riding, and the helmets and all that. And my husband kept telling them, you know, you need to put them in the back, you need to put them in the back. And they had gotten real excited with all the hoopla of Christmas and all that, and they had left the bikes in the yard. And that's when someone came and got her bike. They left the other 2, but they got her bike.
Somebody knew what they were looking for.
They knew what they were looking for. And my husband, of course, then we were closed for New Year's and all that, but my husband took my daughter this past Friday and went to Bob's Bike, told them what happened. We filed a police report and everything. Right. I'm missing something. I'm leaving out one of the best parts. Right. Okay, so I posted, because of this whole cancer thing, I have this Rally for Irene Facebook page. Okay. And I posted something that said, please say a prayer for my daughter, Katie Grace. When she wakes up in the morning, she's going to learn the hard lesson that her bike has been taken, you know, her brand new bike.
So you knew she hadn't found out yet?
Oh, I knew. Because my husband figured it out late one night. And like 2 nights after Christmas was when he figured it out. And so so we called, you know, we knew to file a police report, and so we did. And so in the kind of loudness of all that, I realized Katie Grace wasn't asleep, and I said, let me go get her. And so I went and got her, and we told her, and she was just in shock. It was more than a little 9-year-old brain and body and demeanor could capture, that someone would steal a bike that doesn't belong to them. And it was just more. And so we're sitting on the sofa, and I had just posted that, you know, to the Facebook, and I was talking to her, and I said, you know, Katie Grace, I said, it's probably one of 2 things. I said, it's either somebody that just knew, because we weren't sure what day it was taken, and I said, it's either somebody who just was overcome with temptation. They didn't think that they would get a bike for Christmas, and they figured out a way to get themselves a bike. Or it could be a parent or an aunt or an uncle or a grandparent who really wanted to be able to give someone, someone special in their life a bike, and they were overcome with temptation and they just took it. And I said, the only way that our hearts are ever going to be okay with this is if we put it in God's hands. And I said, we just need to say a prayer for whoever took it and then for us. And I said, and just, that's how we'll be able to get over being mad or being sad. Otherwise, it's going to always sting. And she agreed, and I said, there's a bigger lesson here for us all to learn. And she agreed, and so the next morning when I think it was even later, within a few minutes.
Okay.
I still had my computer because I had gone to get it to put the little Facebook thing. And you know how it lets you know when you have it makes the little noise, and so I was reading it, and I got all these comments like right off the bat, and this one from our friend Mary Catherine, who is a new friend, small world, connected through a million different ways, who's been bringing meals to us, whose daughter's been helping us on Tuesdays and all that. She says, I just went in my basement and there's a pink bike that I am pretty sure will work for Katie Grace. Let me know when I can bring it over. And so I said, Katie Grace, look. I said, it's already working out. Well, a couple of days went by, and this friend, Mary Catherine, comes over with her daughter, Mary Coleman, and they roll it in, and it is the same type of bike that came from Bob's Bikes.
Really?
So we knew, because the deal with Bob's Bikes is you can trade.
Right.
And so we waited, and then that's when this past Friday, Tim took her, explained to Bob's Bikes what had happened. They were so helpful, so great. I wasn't there, but I take Tim's word for it. And he said they even threw in a free lock, but he was able to, they gave us store credit towards that, and then Tim just paid the difference. So as the frugal mom, I'm thinking, oh my gosh. So I'm grateful for the credit. I'm grateful for that. But when you add the difference with what we had already spent, I'm just like, but they said they would replace, if we get the bike back, they would replace it. Or they would refund it.
They would reimburse you.
And so I told Katie Grace, I said, I went to sleep and I feel like God gave me this idea. Now anybody watching this may think I am the biggest freak, wino, whatever. But I'm telling y'all, I don't think of these things by myself. And so I told her, and I said, how does that sound to you? What do you think about putting this? And she goes, that would be great. So we go to the dollar store, we get the foam boards, we get the stake. My husband got the stakes for it, and she outlined, and anyway, we got the Sharpies, and so we made the signs. And we had them in the yard the Thursday that school started back for Homewood. So that's a long story. You're going to have to edit the heck out of this.
Well, but that's okay. It's all right.
But that's the story.
We'll put the whole story up on YouTube, and we'll attach it to the story so that they can get the whole from the beginning. Pardon? You buying them a bike? All right, so the signs are kind of funny because whoever took my brand new bike, please do the right thing and bring it back. P.S. I forgive you either way. Now let's talk about the forgiveness part of it, because I mean, when you're 9 years old, it's really hard in a Mimi world to get forgiveness.
It's hard when you're 45 and a half. I'm almost 46.
So, did you tell her what to write? Did she write on her own, or how did?
Well, I told her the idea that I had, and I said, do you agree with that? And she said, I do. And so I said, would you want to put the part about, I said, is that true? Do you feel like you can, whether you get your bike back or not, do you feel like you can, I said, we just got to ask God to help us be able to forgive. And she said, no, I do. She said, I already feel it in my heart. And I said, okay, well then let's put that. And then she added the P.S. Love Katie Grace, I am 9 years old. She added that. And then I said, well, what about helping that? I said, if it is somebody that just needs help. But the precious thing is, so that's how we added the PSS. As you can tell, we are long-winded. So, of course, it took us 3 boards.
The PSS, what does that say?
It says that my mom says she'll gladly help you get a new bike.
Now, forgiveness and by doing the right thing, because it's hard to do the right thing.
It is very hard.
So there's a reward in the end for whomever it is that has the original bike. There's a reward in store if you do the right thing.
Well, and they don't have to. If they just bring it back and put it on our porch or in our yard or something, they may want to anonymously return it. I didn't want them to feel like they had to tell us who they were. but they know who they are. And so, but if they did want to, I wanted them to know I will gladly help them get a new bike. We have seen things happen, and we've been provided for in ways that we never dreamed that we would. So
the frugal mom who didn't want to buy the bike in the first place, not that particular one.
I went to Walmart. I was going to go to Walmart.
Is willing to help out, and you know
Well,
that's a big part of it. You know, because a lot of it is that we're very charitable before Christmas. We are after Christmas. This happened around Christmas. As a parent that can't always provide everything that our children want, you can sort of put yourself in the shoes. If it was a parent or a grandparent that just can't provide that love for their child, that one thing that they're really
Right.
especially for bikes, they're very expensive. Especially as you said with kids that are still growing, they're like weeds. I tell you.
Oh, it was the Mac Daddy of bikes that she got.
So you've had it. Tell me what happened. What kind of response have you gotten since you put the signs up?
It's been so cool. Well, the first day we homeschool our children, so we're in and out a lot. We're doing a million different activities and things.
Keep talking.
And so the first day, as we were coming and going, we would see the cars stopping, and people were driving by going, like nobody could believe this. And I was like, and my husband works for Dawson.
Okay.
And so he was like, oh gosh. And he asked him, he said, do we need to take the signs down? Is it causing like a traffic jam or whatever? And they were like, no, it's fine. And so we have had, people slow down, people stop. And then this past Sunday, let me tell them that. This past Sunday was the first Sunday, because we put it in the yard Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Look, there goes somebody. You see, they just drive by and look. Anyway, so Sunday, we were getting ready to go to church. Our church service is later than a lot of the early services at Dawson, and we go to church at Shades Valley Community Church in West Homewood. So we were getting ready, and the doorbell rang on 2 different times early Sunday morning, and it was 2 older gentlemen. Thank you so much, whoever you were. I didn't even catch their names. At 2 different times, came to the door, knocked on the door, and said that they had seen the signs, and that they, when they went to Sunday school and church that morning, and that they wanted to replace the bike.
Right.
And so the first time my husband opened the door, and he told them, he said that it's already been replaced. Thank you so much. And then the second one, the girl, he was gone. I was in the back. The girls opened the door, and they said, no, I did. I opened the door, and I said, thank you so much, but it's been replaced. So anyway, it's just been precious. And then today, another sweet, adorable, you just want to fold them up and put them in your pocket and walk around with them because it'll make you smile. I don't have a clue who it was. An older gentleman that said he works out at Dawson pulled up and walked in, and when we went to the door, he handed 2 $5 bills and said, I hope this will help go towards replacing the bike. So it's just been sweet. And today we had just come back from riding horses, and small world again, someone's talking about something, and it's a friend that I haven't seen or talked to in forever, and she said, oh my word, you live in that house. A friend of mine, one of your neighbors posted it to Facebook and said, is this not the cutest and best thing you've ever seen? And she said, that's your house. And I said, that's my house. So anyway, I don't know,
And so what's funny is that just a simple message, and it's not malicious, it's very sweet. It's very open, and you get this kind of feedback. A TV camera shows up, for goodness sakes. That's
the craziest thing ever. I thought my husband was teasing me. Of all days, I decided to start exercising this week. I've got my Team Irene t-shirt. This is what my in-laws made for the whole cancer journey thing. And he says, y'all are here to interview me, so that's crazy.
When this is all said and done.
Or not me, but the message.
No, I hear you. When this is all said and done, you've got 3 little girls.
Yes.
There's a lesson that's been learned from them, not just about protecting my things, but also the lesson of forgiveness. We touched on that. But what do you sort of hope that they take away from all this when the signs come up and the attention sort of goes away? Do you think that they've learned something out of all this?
I do. a couple of nights after we had put the signs in the yard, we were having, now I'm saying things that make it sound like we are such the perfect little family. We are so far from that. But one night we were having a family prayer time, and my daughter, Katie Grace, I said, you know, after we prayed, I said, does anybody have anything else? And she said, I do. And she bowed her head and she said, I just pray for whoever took my bike that they'll learn their lesson and not steal from anybody else. And I thought, you know, that's something she'll remember that way more. I mean, well, I don't think she'll ever forget that her bike was stolen, but you know, it's just a lesson for all of us. It's hard to do the right thing no matter what.
And as a parent, and I know your husband's back there making faces at you, you've been doing this the whole time, but as a parent though, when you actually see that realm of innocence go away, when you see that your daughter all of a sudden has to realize, you know, the world is not always a nice place to be. What was that like for you, having to, I mean, did you just want to hug her and hold her, or did you talk to her? Was that a hard conversation to have?
Well, sure, because I knew she was so excited about it, and I am in the midst of this still cringing that I'm still getting over that they've spent this much money on the bike, and then that it's gone. I'm the one with the lessons going on, churning. I mean, I'm telling her, but I'm the one dealing with the anger and I'm mad at my husband for taking her. I'm mad at my daughter for leaving. I mean, I'm just mad at everybody. And so, I mean,
it's hard to see you mad.
No, oh, trust me, mean Irene stays right around the corner, ready to rear her ugly head at any moment. But anyway, so I mean, it was just kind of a group lesson, but it was neat that within minutes of posting the Facebook thing to already see how God's provision, they've got this bike. Little did we know it's going to be the exact same brand. It's a white bike called Specialty or Specialized or something like that. I don't know, some kind of, and then that's what they rolled in, and we were able to trade it, and just the whole bit. So
that's great. You know, and that's one of the things. You move to a town, your first time here, you're dealing with so much else and everything like that, and you know, you kind of, it's hard to feel at home when you feel victimized, when your children feel victimized so soon after traveling to a new place. So I'm hoping that the response that you got back in the community makes you realize that this is really a great place to be.
Oh, I should definitely say the thing that also takes the sting away is seeing how tender-hearted people are. I mean, over our mess, you know, it's our mess. We left it in the yard. We didn't, as parents, follow through and say, no, y'all need to bring it inside. You know, now, of course, we keep them locked up, all of them. But, you know, when you see somebody going through something hard and you're willing to walk through it with them, I think that will stick out in our head too, is that's what made it, being able to say, oh my goodness, Katie Grace, look at what's already happening, you know, and then it's still continuing. It's been over a week. And today she opened the door and there was this adorable little man standing there offering two $5 bills. You know, I mean, just so sweet.
Who would have thought that a bike would be a lesson in faith?
Exactly. Who would have thought? But that's what you got to turn everything into. That's the practice. That's the whole, this cancer thing. I mean, we wouldn't have even been able to get them the bikes. We're so covered up in medical bills and whatnot. But because this lady that we know in Auburn, you know, she was coming to Birmingham and she came by and gave us the means and said, go get the girls. What's something that the girls want for Christmas? And we were like, we would love to get them new bikes. Their bikes are rusted and the chains are off and the seats are all torn. And, you know, I mean, it's just the generosity of people and being the hands and feet of God's community and God's people. That's what offsets everything, because life is hard. It is hard, but it can be wonderful, and that's what we've seen.
And I think that you got a wonderful story here. So
well, good.